There is so much to say about this woman, and I would paraphrase that with the Goon Squad by saying there's so much to say about these men. Most of you know the history of these men. I first heard about them even before I moved to Baltimore 11 years ago when I was teaching in Tennessee, and someone told me about a group in Baltimore called the Goon Squad. And I thought it was a mob or something like that.
Who's making his way out?
So when I first heard about him in Tennessee, I was anxious when I moved to Baltimore to learn more about them. And again, there's so much to say about these men. I'm happy to serve on a committee right now with Brother Scott that we just formed. Maybe it'll be another Goon Squad, in fact, but at Sojourner Douglas College. So I'm here to learn as well as to ask questions. I'm going to ask all the questions that I've always wanted to know.
There you go.
And I hope that you do the same thing there. And this is a unique opportunity and an historic gathering that years from now we'll be talking about it. So without any further ado, let's get into it, Mark.
So we have three men with us, and we have a microphone in the audience, which I think is right there, about the third row back. So if you want to have a comment, or well, not comment so much, but questions, please come to that mic over there and please join the conversation. So this is great. We're going to have another couple more hours of tape to add to our wonderful Goon Squad files. And let me just ask each one of you a question to start, because you all come from different ways. We have two youngsters in the group. Yeah, but the youngsters in the group. With that, let me start with you. So all of you, many people in this group came from someplace else to Baltimore, from all over the country and from India. Talk about, for the folks who weren't there, what the beginning was. What brought these men together in the very first place?
Who do you want to start?
Tracy.
It's a strange group that got to be known as the Goon Squad. I think it's an accident that something or another happened. There was never a meeting call, never any meeting minutes, no bylaws. It was understood that once you were a Goon Squatter, you were forever a Goon Squatter, and if you went whoring at the other guards, whenever you got tired, you could always come back, your chair would be there. The strangest, kind of hard because everybody came to the table from his own vantage point, with his own peculiarities, more ministers than anything else, I guess. Then we had the jurists and a few educators. But each one had peculiar strengths and shared those willingly with each other. Almost like a social group going bowling and stuff like that. And somewhere along the line, a question would come up pertaining to our time and our generation. We lived at that time in the 50s in a city where there was one city councilman who was black, one black in the legislature, not a single black in any department store above a meal, not a single black in any supermarket above a meal. I remember being over in Urban Avenue one evening and a young man who happened to be white, who was a clerk, had gotten to know me and found out that I'd been at Morgan for a number of years, and we built a bit of a friendship. And so he said, "Okay, Professor, I'll see you again next week." And the lady standing, she looks at the professor, And she just fell out laughing. It was the funniest thing in the world. And he was so embarrassed, he didn't know what to do. I said, don't be embarrassed, that's the world in which we live. So as we began to commiserate, I guess is the best way to put it, we said, well, what can we do about some of this? And in 1967, King was killed in 1968, right? You know, 1967, we had been playing, not playing, but bowling. We couldn't get an alley till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. While we waited for the alley, we would have a meeting. And so we noticed that Mr. Friedel was nearing retirement age. If he planned to retire or not, we didn't know.